This is the story of Rapunzel. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful woman called Rapunzel, who lived with her mean aunt. Rapunzel's aunt was jealous that Rapunzel was so beautiful, and had locked poor Rapunzel in a tower so that no one could see her. Every day, Rapunzel's aunt would go to the market, leaving Rapunzel all alone to cook and clean, before returning home every evening. The tower had no door. Rapunzel's aunt would shout, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Rapunzel would then throw down her long hair, and Rapunzel's aunt would climb up her hair to get into the tower. Rapunzel was very lonely living in the tower and wished she had some friends. One day, whilst Rapunzel's aunt was at the market, a young prince was walking near the tower, when he heard Rapunzel singing. Hearing the beautiful voice, the prince decided to find out who was singing. The prince followed Rapunzel's singing until he arrived at the tower. But as there was no door, he could not reach Rapunzel. Every day, the prince would walk to the tower and listen to Rapunzel sing. One day, the prince saw Rapunzel's aunt return and shout, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." The prince watched as Rapunzel threw down her long hair, and her aunt climbed up. The next day, the prince returned to the tower and shouted, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Once again, Rapunzel threw down her long hair, and the prince started to climb. As soon as the prince and Rapunzel saw each other, they fell in love. As the prince was leaving, Rapunzel's aunt saw him. She was very cross. Rapunzel's aunt then cut off Rapunzel's long hair and told her to leave the tower and never return. The next day, the prince returned to the tower and shouted, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." This time, Rapunzel's aunt lowered down Rapunzel's hair for the prince to climb. Rapunzel's aunt said, "Go away and never come back," before hitting the prince on the head with a saucepan. The saucepan got stuck on the prince's head and he fell out of the window. The prince landed on the ground and started to wander in the forest, and was lost for many days, until he heard the same beautiful singing voice again. The prince followed the sound of the singing until he found Rapunzel again. Rapunzel helped the prince to take the saucepan off his head. Rapunzel returned with the prince to his castle. Rapunzel and the prince were soon married and lived happily ever after. The end.